Said this the Kingship Podcast, living fast on the wingtips. G5 when we dash, getting fly. This light from our eyes, no we never fold. Speak the truth and we getting loose, standing on our toes. Said this the Kingship Podcast, living fast on the wingtips. G5 when we
Yo, what's up? It's King Chells of the Kingship Podcast, man. We back with another episode indeed. And man, I got a special guest in here today. Hey, this is a brother from another mother. He hailed from the 216 like me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our paths align. Very similar, how we grew up, how we dealt with things. Two different paths as far as careers and things like that. But just a good, genuine brother right here. And I'm glad to have him on here, man. The jacks of all trades, man. Jason Pettigrew, man. What's up, man? How you living?
Hey, man. Just taking the daily practice, gratitude, keeping my mental health intact, man. How about you, man? How you feeling out here?
Man, I can't complain. Before we get started and we get into, we gonna get to talking our shit. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do what we do best.
Yes.
But I always start every show with a mental health check-in.
Yes.
Just come into the space authentically. Just let us know how you coming, how you feeling, where you at right now. I always start with our guests, and then I go in, then I tell how I feel, and then we'll go from there.
Man, mental health is much better. Really realizing what depression and anxiety is. So this season, I've been overriding that anxiety just holistically in anything, whether that's, a new feat that I'm trying to do remodeling or just having that difficult conversation. I think I'm learning this more just in that sacred pause and just becoming clear who I am. I think just less announcing, trying to convince people, just knowing what you know and just standing in the presence of that. So mentally, I'm trying to not catastrophize, overgeneralize situations, and just to calm my anxiety, to calm that depression. So I mean, I've been feeling good. Like I've been coming out of sense of depression, anxiety here and there, but I am happy that I'm able to balance, have those difficult conversations, just trying to build one day at a time, man. So I mean, grateful to God. Like I'm really feeling good, man.
Hey, man, bro, that's a blessing, man. Just a blessing that you're doing the work on yourself to get better. One of the things that stuck out that you said was, living in the moment and not trying to impress others. Like, I feel that way right now as I'm going through this journey right now with the podcast and just doing this and just somebody told me, I reached out to a good friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, he was like, what is the reason why you really doing this? Are you doing this for yourself or are you doing it for others? Wow. And that stuck with me so much. And for the life of me, it was like, damn, it just made me look at things differently. But for me, I'm coming into the space, man, I'm good. Like right now I'm on spring break. So I got a time to decompress. I love the kids. We all know Chells love the kids. Chells love the kids. But I need a break. Give them back. The one thing about kids, you know what I'm saying? I got one of my own, but the one thing about kids is good when you can give somebody else back their own kids. So I can give them back and they can have their week and do their thing. But it's a time for me to, kind of get my mind back, my bearings back, sit back, recalibrate, and just, relax, actually get some time to relax, do some content, do some things I'm trying to do before I go back into the space of, closing out the school year. You know what I'm saying? We on that back 9. So, it's about to get hectic, but I'm looking forward to it and I'm just kind of ready. I'm kind of ready for what the rest of the year got to bring.
Oh, shit.
But now we got that out the way, man. You know how hey, if y'all don't know, man, me and Jay, we go back at least a decade, if not more.
If they don't know to do it ain't meant for them.
More. Like at least not more. So every time we get together, we always clowning, we always gonna keep it G. And part of the reason why I started this podcast, if you listen to the King intro, is I wanted to be authentic. And a lot of the conversations that you hear and see on here came from conversations that we would have in our living room with some of our other homies. And we were just, being authentic, shooting the shit and just being real. Like,
Yes.
Not holding nothing back, giving real authentic opinions. And, you know, we may not always agree on everything, but it's always good to get another perspective of why somebody thinks, feels, and sees the world the way they do.
Yeah.
With that being said, before I get into the topics, I'm gonna start with the one that I guess I already said something on the gram and on my TikTok about it, but I just curious to hear your opinion because folks still talking about it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm kind of over talking about it, but I'm interested to hear your perspective on it, just as another black man. And with the different narrative that's been thrown around, because we talked about the protection of black women, protecting the black man, protecting your wife, protecting different things, and where you come into that space. The Will and Jada situation. And I mean, as of now, he's been banned from the Oscars, for 10 years? You know, he's banned for 10 years. Wow. So
talk about tokenism, backfire.
And so it's like, how do you feel about that? Where do you see that? You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts on that?
It's so many different avenues I can take from this. I woke up one morning. Well, I woke up the morning after he slapped Chris Rock, and of course I didn't see the Oscars. Mm-hmm. And so I wake up and, you know, you look in the gram and you're just like, what happened? I thought it was a hoax. And my opinion really with this is that I see it from both sides. I'm in this season of mental health and I'm learning about triggers. And when you think about triggers, how you operate from the past in the present moment. And everything and everyone becomes a threat. And these triggers come out of us. And it's like, what causes this mania? You know, what causes this mania for us to lash out? You know, I've been in situations with people where it's like something would trigger me and I just go into a mania, right? So It's like, when Chris Rock said what he said, I thought like, well, Will just protecting black women, like he shouldn't be talking about Jada. Mm-hmm. And then as I watched the whole clip, I seen where Chris Rock made the joke. I thought that Will Smith could have took the opportunity to address that trigger when he won the Oscar and say, hey, did you know alopecia affects this many people a year, and bring light to it. But I know who I am as a real person, to where it's like, he made that joke, but that trigger was stemming from something else. And I only noticed it after the slap. But like, keep my wife's name out your mouth.
That's your fucking mouth. Hey, you can say what you want, bro. We say what you gotta say. That's what
I thought of it like, hey, he protecting black women. Hey, you just can't be making jokes. But the context of who he made fun of before, and then that, I was like, I'm leaning on the fence here, because I really don't, get into all of like that type of stuff. But I did notice like, hey, Will Smith is operating from a trigger. And because in my own triggers, it's like, this does have nothing to do with the situation at hand. Though partially it does, but operating from that, everybody's a threat. So it's like, what has Will Smith gone through for that trigger to happen? And I only noticed after, keep my wife's name out your mouth, and then the whole like apology after, where it's like, hey, with the devil, when you reach this height, it was like not a self-righteous thing, but just, it was passive over what just happened. It was like, yeah, the devil does come at certain times, but your actions went out to slap Chris Rock. So what was you dealing with? Like, oh, keep my wife's name out your mouth. August Alsina, like, he had some in your wife's mouth.
Where was like, that energy for bro? Like,
you're supposed to use the aggression to him. And I don't beat up on Will, because it's like, hey, he might have been dealing with a lot of things. I know he said some stuff in his book about Pac and measuring up to him. I know some things with August Alsina in the public, and a lot of things were coming at Will at once, to where this night it was just like, you know what? I'm not taking this no more. But then with Chris Rock, it was like, all right, was he wrong for making that joke about Jada? Did it get taken sideways? So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I feel that, we can't allow our emotions to get the best of us. And I'm learning this, where it's like, back in the day, it was like, hey, you can't just be slapping motherfuckers, hitting motherfuckers, even though niggas might do something to deserve it. But at the same time, it's just really realizing like, hey, man, I don't know, like, it's just one of those tough things, man, because it's like our backgrounds, where we come from, you know, that's how things happen in the hood. It's like, what you say? You talking about me? Like, oh, bro, I won't even say nothing about you. But at that point, it's too late.
Right. You're going to get these hands first, and now I'm going to ask questions later, you know.
Ask questions later. So I definitely seen how emotions can get the best of us. And only people I know who are perfect is cancel culture, because, you know, they got their resurrection coming up next Sunday. Because they died on the cross, and they died for our sins. But if you normal like us, you recognize you cannot allow your emotions to get, you know, the best of you. And that's it.
It's funny that you say that, because one, I think a lot of people, on one hand, you got the ones who are praising Will, like, yes, do what you're supposed to do, protect your wife. Mm-hmm. And as I do understand that,
both, yeah,
I get that. But there's a part of me, like, I do agree there was more to that than just a G.I. Jane joke. I fully believe that. I also think that at the same time, I'm not going to twofold. If that is somebody that is, and I don't know the ins and out of their relationship, whether they got an open relationship, who they doing, that's not my concern. That's not what, that ain't what I got going on. Because at the end of the day, they ain't paying me, they ain't feeding me, they ain't putting no money in my pocket. So honestly, it really don't matter.
Yeah.
But my thing is this. If that is somebody who you are with, I'm not going to allow you to set yourself up to put your biggest moment of your life, you're now remembered for slapping somebody, not winning the Oscar, not other black folks winning the Oscar and having their first Oscar win and being able to be celebrated as well. Two, I also feel like even as she came out and said, you know, I didn't ask him to do that for me, I don't need protecting. It's like, damn, like.
Sorry to cut you off. Have you ever, like, I don't know this, like, but like in the hood, like, there's always like the finest chicks that stay like in bad neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey man, if I do this, I'm about to get this ass, right?
Facts.
Like, I ain't asked you to do that for me. And then it's like, you don't end up with no ass.
And you did all that pandering and still ain't get no cheeks.
It seems Will keeps taking the short end of the stick when, and I'm not even gonna get pumped off of it, but it's like, think of the Red Table Talk, the August Alsina, the Breakfast Club, Tupac, all this shit, the Grammys. It's like, Jada's always at the center of this. It's like.
But see, that's it right there. That, to me.
How do you feel about that? Because I ain't trying to make that a judgment.
No, but that's the thing right there. When you put your business out there on social media, or when you put your business out there, you are going to get talked about. And I don't understand, like you're at, and does it make it right? No, but social media is a platform where it has given everybody a voice to the voiceless, of people who feel like they can say something when honestly most of these people are sitting in their mama's basement with the Twitter fingers, ain't doing nothing, in ho-hos all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of these people ain't doing nothing for real, ain't even touching that type of money. And I understand as people, we have this innate ability to react, because at the end of the day, like you said, we're not perfect, we're human. So after a while, there's going to be something, and this is what you said, I think it built up. After a while, it got to Will, and I think there was a lot involved in that slap. This is for Tupac, August, and the rest of you motherfuckers that was talking shit, and Chris was on the
any of y'all entertain.
And Chris was on the end of that. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like that's where that came from. I don't really believe, I think, long story short, I think for him, he should have controlled his emotions. And like you said, whether Chris knew she had alopecia or not, I'm not even here to judge him on him feeling some type of way of the joke. Because as a man, you don't have to like the joke or what a comedian says. You have that right. But it's funny, we tell people, especially in the black community, don't put yourself up. Don't let nobody walk all over you. But don't set yourself up when you work so hard where you lose everything in a split second because you made a stupid ass decision.
Yes.
And I feel like that's what's happening right now with Will. Is like, yes, he was triggered, but there were certain things that were not handled ahead of time. And instead of handling them, it built up.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. I think that's the scariest thing about triggers, because it's like you in the present now, and then something might trigger like, whoa, I'm in 1998, and you can't even control it, because it's like something that resembles or looks familiar in this just put you in survival mode. And that's why I say I don't think Will wrong or Chris wrong, because it's like damn, you probably shouldn't have said that joke. And then you probably, I don't know. I just think that these things are like, we can't choose how they gonna happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just think that there was definitely a trigger with Will. And it happened. But I want to talk about just the tokenism. I feel like these same people who put Will in, it's like you're boycotting the Grammys, you're going against all this type of stuff, and then it's like now you at the Grammys and you slapping people, you slapping motherfuckers. Like, so I feel like a lot of these niggas are goofy, but like, because
it's like, a different. When people got a certain amount of money, I feel like certain people think that they untouchable in a way, and sometimes you get humbled. Sometimes you get humbled, like. Regardless of how you look at the situation, from as young as we've been, we've always been told in some way, shape, or form, whether you listened or not, there is going to be a consequence for your action, good or bad. There's a consequence.
My therapist said something, I might be butchering it. She said the quickest, so basically like how you handle these triggers is like, she said like the quickest reaction emotionally. It's kind of like art in the hood. It's like, let's take the shortcut. It's the quickest way home. But it's like 20 niggas waiting in the shortcut. It's like, we should have just went the long way. That's how I feel emotionally. It's like the quickest route that you try to take to solve that emotion is the most consequential. And it's like, when that trigger arises, I always try to think like, should I just, but you can't do that. You gotta just realize like, it is so hard because that's why I feel Will's like, that money is not gonna exempt you for the real life you go through.
Facts.
And you come up to the Grammys, and I'm into entertainment, like
the Oscars, not the Grammys, the Oscars.
It's all fake. Like, I'm not an actor, but I'm a model. Like, I'm not SAG, but I'm non-SAG. Like, I'm non-union. So it's like, but you still come across these actors, you still come across these people, and they're real people. They get hurt, they got emotions, and you don't know if they got a safe space to like, unleash. Because I don't know. I know what Denzel's saying, like, this moment and things like that, but man, I don't mean to like come down on Jada or come down on people, but it's just like, it's just corniness, man. Like, and you could tell because it's like you protecting her, you slapping her, and then she goes like, hey, I really wasn't asking for that. So it just blows my mind because it's like, why did you make that face? Also, as Will was laughing. Like, Will was laughing in the moment, you were mad. And then after the fact, it seems that you were happy, and then Will turned mad. Like,
and that's why I said that I don't know what the dynamics of their relationship is, but something just seems off from the outside looking in.
What Alcina was doing, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. At that point, August Alcina at this point is clout chasing. Because at this point, I'm just like, bro, sit this one out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
how did that even get out? Like, I mean, I know this is off topic. How did this all come about? Was because Will, I know that Will had a picture like, oh, this is the, we adopted him and all this type of stuff, and he's in the household, but now, he banging out your wife. So it's like, did he come out about it, or how did it all spill out?
I don't know if it was the interview that August did, or because I'm not really into the whole gossip. But I will say this. Let me propose this question to you.
Yeah.
If the shoe was on the other foot,
cancel.
If Will was fucking one of Willow's friends, what does that look like? What like, are we all laughing about an entanglement, or are we calling Will a predator?
It would be so many things that people would say, and I don't even get worked up about it, but I do see where you coming from, because it's like, if the shoe was on the other foot, I guess for a person who wants to see fairness, but yeah, I mean, damn, that's crazy, man. And you know what, I want to make it at that level of Will Smith and acting and do stuff like that, but it's like all that other stuff relationally. I feel like this. I feel like Will is like where we from, bro. He's from Philly, Jada from Baltimore. But I feel like even where I come from, it's like you see him trying to like this persona where it's just like, I don't even know. Like, I just be like, this shit ain't working out, obviously. Like, and I've been through situations like that. Like, it's just like, at that point, I feel like Will did the right thing at that time by slapping him to protect Jada. But then when she said like, "Oh, I didn't need him to do that," and he did it out of his own respect, then
it made him look foolish because it made him honestly, because with that, it makes it feel like what you did was for naught. You lost.
If she would have said, I can't even say that. We don't.
Bro, what he lost to protect his wife?
Slap on the back of your head, yo, boy.
You feel me? What he lost? Like that was a lot. And now look at how he is viewed. Like, that's crazy to me. And it's like, it's funny. It's like, people is like, yeah, he needs to do this. He needs to do this. Let me ask you a question. And they're just like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm one, I ain't gonna just let nobody talk to me any type of way. You know this. I done been in a couple situations where stuff that I should have left alone where I didn't. And
somebody can get hurt, somebody can die. Like, I really start recognizing this stuff, like with cancel culture and people. I'm like, someone's gonna die. Like,
to speak on that,
ultimatum, or someone's gonna get hurt, you gotta just walk away.
To speak on that, I was told, do you love yourself enough to want to make it back home? Do you love yourself enough to want to make it back home?
Because it turns into self-sabotaging because it's limiting. Like, I think in my own career as modeling, it's like coming out of Cleveland, Columbus, it's like the same gossip, the same clicks, the same this. It's just like, don't self-sabotage yourself. If you know your worth, at the end of the day, you want to make it back home. Sometimes you got to recognize, hey, all this is limiting. Like, I know this is about to pull my triggers away, but emotionally, I'm like, when I pray to God and where he's about to take me at, like, is this congruent and follows in line? And that's so hard to say, but that makes me remember my why before I go off on somebody or just do something crazy, because you really have to remember, like, why am I doing this? But it's hard, and I failed a lot of times at it. Like, I don't think it just ends with a smack. Like, we not been the best person in our relationships or money, finances, managing shit. Like, what is this trigger or this impulse that I get? And I don't know, man. I think Jada is still in love with Tupac, and I think and I think that's what hurts Will, when you know your wife is in love with another man
and ain't in love with you, and that, bruh. And the thing, and I will say this, and we can all say what we would or would not do. Everybody can say whatever they would do, but if you ain't never been in that situation, you can't really say, because it's funny.
Tackle that nigga, like,
you feel me? Like, it's a lot of people that say, like, I personally, in my opinion, I don't think that I would have taken it that far, because I don't think the joke was that egregious. Now, if he would have called her out on that, like, if he would have said, like, dang, Jada, I see you bald. I see your hair falling out like it's falling like snow. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that.
They was reading them comments, and then Chris Rock said something similar, like, see you in G.I. Like,
you feel me? Like, that's the different. But I just didn't think it was that egregious, and I thought it was something where. Do I think that at times comedians can take certain things too far? Yeah, there's some things that I believe to a certain degree is off limits.
But Corey Holcomb had been up there.
Huh?
Let Corey Holcomb have been up
there. Boy, he ain't.
Like,
bro, he going in, and he gonna still keep talking. Like,
you slapping me, like, because what I said about your wife, like, Chris Rock could have just went ham on the jokes.
But see, that's the thing. Is he doing that if somebody else up there? There's so many different factors that you gotta ask. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Are you keeping it? Because, like you said, where's this energy with August Alsina? Where's this energy with some of these other folks that was talking all this? You know what I'm saying? Like, right, wrong, or indifferent, he didn't do that then. So it's just like, at the end of the day, whatever you choose to do, he did what he felt was best for him in that moment. Do I agree with it? No, but that's what he felt what was.
No.
No, I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he put you. We're always taught when you got a lot to lose, especially for us as black men, you got to work 10 times as hard to get to the position that you are at.
And remembering that.
And you got to remember that. You work too damn hard to get to this position. To finally win your first one, and everything that you have worked for is now.
One, bro.
Huh?
That was Will's first, because they boycotted.
That was his first one, and the reason why
They boycotted
in
it.
2016 because he didn't get nominated for concussion.
So now when he gets nominated for a movie, he's giving niggas concussions.
And this is what I be talking about. Hey, when I tell you we get to talking that shit, hey, boy, hey, whole eardrum swole, boy, swole.
That was the trigger.
But I'm saying, like, to me, it's like we all you have to know that. Yeah. You have to know that. Now, does that mean that somebody can disrespect you? Nah. Yeah. Two things can be. Hey, if you really wanted to handle it like that, hey, bro, he just had to see me out back. All right, cool. You ain't gonna catch me on TV.
That was the only two options. I thought Will would have either brought light to alopecia or number two would have talked to him in the back.
Because here's my thing. The only thing is, say if he would have smacked him out back, the only thing we got to see.
Gave him that outback smack out.
You feel me? The only thing is that, well, sources said, there's a whole lot of goddamn sources out here, and ain't nobody confirming or denying nothing. All it is another rumor in the publicity magazine tabloid until somebody confirms something.
I'm gonna add light to that. I feel sometimes with our triggers, it adds that impulse. Like he smacked him, right? Mm-hmm. But if Will wouldn't have said nothing and would waited after the show or brought light, he wouldn't even have felt that way inside. Like I've noticed that with emotion, like, damn.
Because he would have had some. He would have thought about it. He had that time to recover. Because I'm being real, bro. He thought the joke was funny.
He was laughing at it.
He was laughing. So from you to go from there to go to Super Gremlin, I'm like, God damn, like.
And then he walked off and was holding his pants like that. I'm like, what type of silly ass shit is this, man?
Oh, bro, like I just feel bad for him because I just feel like everything that you work for, you have now, in a matter of a span like that, I'm not gonna say lost it because I feel like he is a good man and a good-hearted person that he can be able to work to get that back. And I think one of the things we have to also understand, outside of this whole cancel culture bullshit, we have to understand that we make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Work to be better so you do not make that same mistake again.
But cancel culture is just more of a justification why people just automatically hate you. Because then it's like, hey, we hate them because he got this wrong. Okay, he's going to work on this to make it better. It's like, no, I just never liked him alone. Like, it's just now that he's did something, now it's justification to why how I'm feeling inside. And I think that's what's happening from an anthropological standpoint. Like when we look at culture, we look at the macro of what cancel culture or Instagram culture, all this shit is going to mean in the end. You're really going to look at cancel culture as like these people who are being canceled, like, oh, we're holding them accountable. It's like, so then you're God. At the end of the day, it's like, yes, you can hold them accountable, but you're not creating safe space for them to learn. So that just means you hate them. It's like, if you don't have a safe space for them to learn, then just say you hate them. Just say you don't like them. But don't just cancel the person, because Will is going to be able to get over this. This is going to be in the past. It's just going to take some time for him to recover health. And maybe, you might need to go find him a white woman as you.
Hey, don't say that, man. Don't say that, man. You're gonna get them riled up in here.
Why would I love that?
You gonna get them riled up in here, and folks gonna be like, "Well, is that how you feel in the block?" No.
I ain't never been no sexually than no white woman, so I'm for the sisters.
We laugh and joke. We still got love for our black women. Don't never get that twisted. Don't never get that twisted.
I love black women more than I love pussy. It just be like I just love pussy growing up, and now I'm learning appreciation. Like, oh, I love black women. Like they make me better. Like they're freeing me. Like they're
no, but real talk. Like, and that's funny that you say that because I mean it took me a while as a grown man to understand that. I was reckless. Like, I was reckless in college, bro. Like, hey, I used to say some wild shit and do some wild shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, if you was there, you know. If you don't, you gotta, we not gonna.
That white Buick thing.
Hey, it used to be wild, but it's just some of the things that I had to learn and grow. Like, just going from college and seeing the women that I went to college with and where they're at now, especially the black women that we went to school with, and just to see the heights that they're at and what they're doing is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I always want to make sure we highlight them to the highest degree because it is well deserved. And a lot of times they got that shit out the mud. With a lot of shit, holding them back.
Here, and now we talking about just black women. in that light, because I feel like that's who the people we went to school, like that's what they're gonna be trying to be, trying to be the next, judge, trying to be the next psychologist, trying to be the next this or that, and not even trying, becoming it. So it's like, for me, like coming out of my neighborhood, you didn't see Black women having the opportunity as such to become what they wanted to become. But then going to college, I seen the different light of my neighborhood. And so it just brought me closer into like, these are actual people. Like, these people breathe, these people got emotions. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think that college experience, what you're saying, like being reckless, not really knowing. But now I do see where it's like, look at this person. We got somebody that's a judge that's Black, like, in the entire history and shit. So,
and you know what was so crazy? Because I watched that, and her name is Ketanji Brown Jackson. Let's say her name. Ketanji Brown Jackson. I want to make sure we understand and say her name and hear her name. Because the problem that I had when they was asking this woman questions, first off, she was more qualified than anybody that was in that damn room.
Yeah.
Highly qualified.
Overqualified.
Put in the time, effort, and work. People, based on the last two confirmations, she was more qualified than those two individuals. One of the people, Ted Cruz, was asking the question.
Yeah.
They went to the same law school. I believe they were like 2 or 3 years outside of each other.
Yeah.
Still had more qualifications than him.
Just shows the totem pole, like.
It just blew my mind. Like, I saw something on the ground where they was basically talking about how they would give a backhanded compliment saying, she's very well accomplished. She was doing X, Y, and Z, but I'm gonna vote no. She is great at what she does, has a great family.
But you're Black.
But I'm gonna vote no.
Yeah.
Nigga, what? Hold on. So you're gonna sit up here and say that she is everything that you want, but you, because of whatever party line you choose to affiliate with, cool, whatever, get it, got it, good. But at some point, it's like, damn, you hating at this point.
And it just shows how
you hating. You hating in the club and you can't even get in. You hating and you can't even get in. She got in. You over here trying to get the wristband at the door, asking the promoter, can you get some? Hey, bro. Hey, I'm on the list.
I called you before I got up.
Bro, I'm on the list. Nah, bro. Nah.
Like Senator, I believe it was one of the senators from Texas.
Cruz?
Not. It was Corn. It was Senator Corn. A little bit older. Just kept saying, so you're assuming. Just basically saying his assumptions just around the issue of birth control and abortions. And she's trying to say, hey, it's the American system that you believe in. We judge each case based on what we have in front of us. And he's trying to like draw this generalization, like, so you would do this and you would do this and this case happened. She's like, look, like, I'm not proficient on this. Like, I don't know when it comes in front of me. But you can tell he was trying to bait people who just literally vote, who have no conscience. Like, oh, she's basically against the for abortion or whatever. And then it's like, oh, see, and then people are gonna vote against her. And it's just that type of mentality that is like, hey, there are Black women dying, there are Black boys dying. Like, there's a corrupted police districts. You got the fucking DOJ is fucked up. Like, it's just so crazy. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm happy for her, just seeing like how Kamala came in and how her prosecution, but having somebody that been through that struggle, been through that situation where it's like, we need her in the judicial system for real, because it's wild. Like, I think that the hearing that they put her through shows the totem pole. You got the white man, you got the white woman, you got the Black man, you got the Black woman. And it's like, how much the Black woman got to do just to be seen as a person? Like, it's just like this 3/5 compromise. Like, you really not a whole person. You just part of a person. And your accolades can build you up into one whole person. Like, for what a white man does in one lifetime, a Black woman got to do a triple lifetime to just be seen.
Working 10 times as hard to get to that position. And we just talked about that with Will.
Yeah.
You had to work 10 times as hard to get to this position, and they still will look down on you because they feel like they are better than you, when in reality, they couldn't even shine your shoes, do nothing, can't even give you a drink of damn water. Because they ain't got it.
And I feel like it just shows like they have triggers too. Like, this inadequacy or this like jealousy of like what you're fearing, like, oh, you're well accomplished, but it's always going to be a but because we Black. It's never going to be this even playing field that we are just as equal as you are. It's like our equality has to be built into this hard work, accolades, and accolades are great, but it's like this woman's went to Harvard. She's well decorated. Like she spent 20 years at doing this, and she's coming into
put in the time, effort, the work, has the resources, the networks, and has been doing this for a while. When it's people that ain't even touched half the shit she done and still sitting on that court. Yeah, and that's what's crazy to me.
Mother Teresa, damn near to win that seat, you had to be Mother Teresa, and it shows the perfectionism that Black people have to achieve in order just to have that accessibility, to have that equity too. Because that's what we want. We want equity. We don't want, oh, 3/5, you just good enough to come in. It's like, no, I want to be at the table making decision-making processes along with you all. Like, we need to have some type of like, I don't know, cultural competencies as Americans saying, hey, this space needs to be represented. Like, because this is some of the decisions that's going to be made when we're looking at Eric Garner, or we're looking at Sandra Bland, or we're looking at Breonna Taylor. Who is on this board? Who's at this level that can influence this decision-making process, so you don't end up like H&M with a black boy and a monkey on the shirt? It's just those things that you see with Black, and that's what I learned in college. Like, damn. And I'm repeating the process even though I'm Black. Like I'm at this totem pole, and it's like the Black women in how society is like, what am I using as my privilege to make sure that, you know, they being seen? I think that the Senator Corn, he just kept trying to bait her into this like one simple like, this is like, this, he thinks of abortion, guys, and it's just like, she's like, no, I'm looking at each individual case. Just like you look at the murders and you look at things, it's like, U.S. justice system just been looking at a case like, oh, he's Black. Yep. Let these guys get a cakewalk. And I think this is what her joining this like U.S. justice system really shows. Like, you know what? She's really able to handle, like, because it's this narrative. Women are emotional. Women don't know how to lead. Women are this, women are that, and I think that's a lot of the framework. Like, if she was a judge, would she get emotional on the case? Like, the person was Black, like, was she like? She's like, no, I would handle each case just like any other judge, typically. Like, so.
So my thing is with that, look at her track record. If she's been able to do this for the last 20 years, why all of a sudden do I got a question? Can she do it at the highest court? I mean, y'all wouldn't. Not to say that, you know, based on party lines, there were some ridiculous questions that were asked when the other two were being confirmed. But as far as your ability to do your damn job,
yes.
What does your track record say? It's just like when you get hired for a job interview. Okay, we're gonna bring you in we're gonna look at your resume. We're gonna bring you in for an interview, maybe two. You might have to do a task or something. And we're going to see, can you perform that along with call your references? Mm-hmm. I'm looking at your references and what have you done over the past 20 years to make you qualified enough to be able to sit in this seat, to be able to do this. Because, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
It's some folks I'm looking at, how the hell you get on this court?
That's holistically in America, like, how did y'all get up in here?
Because I'm going to be real with you, because even outside the court, I'm looking, and I understand folks vote based on what, but I'm looking at some of these folks like, your old ass is still up in here? Bro, you a whole big ass bigot. The minute they blow, your ass is gonna turn into dust. That's how long your old ass has been up here. Like, bro, nah, fam, you gotta go. Like,
for real.
Like, you cannot tell me that some of these people that are still in these positions of power, as old as they are connected or can relate to the people in 2022.
And Senator Corn is like 72 years old or 70 years old. So I'm just thinking in my mind, like, the only thing that you can bring up is abortion, because during your time it was like, hey, do you drink, do you smoke, do you go to church, and do your and it's like, oh, abortion, that's the end of the world. It's like people out here,
there are so many other issues in this country right now, and it's just like, to me, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of, bro, whether it's him, McConnell, some of these just foolishness to some of the stuff they do. And I'm not gonna sit up here and act like everybody on the Democrat side is on and up either. I'm an equal opportunist. Some of them fools is fraudulent too. I ain't about to act like folks ain't out here doing they dirt just do either, because they out here cutting up too. But it's just like, nah, man, it needs to be some new blood. Like I think that some of these folks don't need to be in government no more.
Black blood.
Like, real talk. But here's the thing too, and this is something we've talked about off air.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be in a position of power, not even just look out, but make sure you understand where you come from. Don't let these folks sit up here and put their hands in your pocket. Like, you understand, like, it's folks over here, it's like, you come from nothing. All of a sudden, you let them put their hands in your pocket. Once they know what they say, once they know your price, you got. Once I know your price, it's a wrap for you. I can now get you to dance. It is over, because now I have taken what you have and said, you know what? He good. He is good as soul.
That capitalism is just built in us. Like, I feel like without black people, capitalism won't work. Like, even outside of slavery, like when you look at the NFL, you look at NBA, you look at just we make this country go round, and it's like when they figure out your price, that's when they can be able to be like, all right, dance, nigga, dance. And I just wish we could it's so much bullshit that we focus our attention on. Like, real talk, we focus our attention on some of this. Like, that's why I get mad at the Love and Hip Hops and all that other bullshit, bro. Because it's like, that is not a great depiction of us and what we do. Do we argue? Do we fight? Do we have issues? Yes. Who don't? But I'm not about to sit up here and put that on TV every goddamn day and make sure somebody can sit and laugh at that. Nah, I'm good. And it exploits us as American culture, because it's like, it's a demand for it. You know, you would think that is something that I went to Amsterdam one time, and I was just even looking at things like there's not really commercials, or just the capitalistic thing of people trying to get you to buy and sell. That's what's happening in this Love and Hip Hop. It's not just the arguments, but it's like these Gucci clothes. Let me sell off this aesthetic. The whole vibe that they're pushing to distract. It's a distraction, and it's a human nature. It's like, if I tell you bad news, you will believe me, because it's just justification in it. It just seems like we're just so clingy to that. If it's good news, like, he bragging, da. But it's like, I feel that it came from Jim Crow, the systematic racism. It's like, it never highlighted black people doing great things. It just only highlighted black people doing bad things. And I think I'm in modeling now, and I'm realizing, whoa, I can really make a difference for other African Americans. And learning how to do that process is a beautiful thing, because white people always want to know your price. This whole the greatest wars, all this is reciprocity. From anthropology, it's like, whoa, I gave you 2 apples. The next day I'm coming, I'm just like, well, you know what? I got chickens. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, the reciprocity, like, that's the game it is. And as I'm learning, like, how do I put the next black brother on? How do I put the next black man on? It's like, I'm not looking for any reciprocity. And I think in capitalistic society, it's always this undertone of reciprocity. Even though we try to fake it and be like, oh, I'm just doing a bid for you or doing something for you. It's just like, at some point, somebody's going to use that. And I think,
it's always time to collect. It's always time to collect.
It's like that. Or we asking, hey, where is our 40 acres in the union after we didn't put in the work? Because they know they ain't worth nothing but a couple of pennies. They're going to take it. And then when you come back asking for something, like in sharecropping, it's going to be like, what money, Craig? Like, you know.
It's my money.
Yeah.
$500.
It's my $200. It's serious, like, because it's like, in the industry, back to the Will Smith thing, it's like that tokenism, bro. It's like you being like, how are you going to represent your people? And I think that's something I don't even understand. Like, I'm still trying to understand it. Like, sometimes it's comfortable to still be my authentic self where I'm from, but then knowing what to apply that and how to piece it. You know?
I think that's a good question though. How do you represent your people? I think how you represent your people is making sure you do the work on yourself first, and know how to represent yourself first to be a good person. Just be a good person and just be humble and just try to figure out, look, we all have a story. We all come from somewhere. We all got a family somewhere. Whatever that dynamic may look like, wherever they may be, we all come from somewhere. Do the work to be a good person for yourself.
Yeah.
And then reach back and pay it forward to the next. Because here's the thing. It's just like me in teaching. Bro, all I'm just trying to do is trying to pay it forward to the young ones. That's it. Yeah. Tell them my story. Let them know, hey, bro, don't make this wrong turn here.
So much power in that. Like, I never noticed the people I'm grateful for in my high school, just even get to this moment, people who share information, you can take it on and move with it, because even in myself, it's like, my story got power in it. Your story got power in it. For some reason, it's like growing up, we really don't think our story got power. And I think that's like one of the first things when you get to know yourself or your why in order to get back to people. Like me, it was hard for me to get back to people because in a sense of neglect and abandonment, all I know is me. All I know is like, ain't nobody, what? And as I started going to college, I'm like, you know, I'm about to help homie, because if I was in that situation, like, boom. I ain't got no, like, I got a mom and dad, and they'll be there if I needed help, but like, I ain't asking, like, it's just never been that rapport. So I feel that in helping people in ways, it's more like you learning you, like, hey man, how would I want to help myself? And I think that's what was so hard for me, like coming up in it and like pulling away from that selfishness, because in a lot of ways we don't know how. And when I say don't know how, it's like, if it fell in my lap to give back, I wouldn't know how. Like, it's easy to say, oh, I got some money, hey, I'm a chip you off something. But things that are like, I guess, inanimate objects, like, hey, you start a podcast, I'm doing a modeling, or how are we going to be able to help one another? I think when I came into modeling, it exposed me, man. Like, you know, I started modeling. It might say if it's just you, Daryl hit me up, people. Nobody knowing I was modeling. And then people will come out of nowhere. Hey, what's up? I always want to model. Hey, and you be like, what the fuck? Like, you coming out of nowhere. Like, what you want from me? Like, people coming out of nowhere, and it's the triggers you getting from childhood. It's just like, who the fuck is you? Like, you here to take from me. You here to,
because that's what happened when we was growing up. Every time somebody came around, they either needed something, took something, or was trying to get something up off you. In some way, shape, or form.
Like, oh, you don't have to be in survival mode, but it's like, hey, this is the only way I know how to learn, because there are opportunists out there like that don't care about your social well-being or how you were doing. That's how I felt. I was like, hold on. I was going through depression, never heard from you. But then I'm out, oh, I'm proud of you. Hey, what's up? Do you think we can clap? Like, whoa. And then them triggers come out of you if a child like.
But you also got to be smart and detect, try to understand. Everybody ain't for you either. Just because you come out the cuts, don't mean I'm gonna do something with you either. Because it's a lot of times, sometimes it's the people that's close to you that you do work, and sometimes you don't do work with them, and sometimes that's vice versa. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like college taught me that I needed to know how to ask for help. Like, that's what I had to understand, how to ask for help. Because when I you know,
because I feel like mine was like,
because I was always taught, like, first off, in-house shit, stay in-house. We ain't going, like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man.
Lights ain't on, hot water ain't on, you shut the hell up, you take your ass to school, you bring your ass home, and we deal with this shit in the house. Yeah, you wouldn't know, you know what I'm saying? Nobody would know what was going on with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it was, like, and, you know, even when I got to college, like, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't just reach back to my mom and dad and be like, hey, I need to, they told me, look, you're going to college. I don't know how it's getting paid for, but you're gonna have to figure that shit out. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you gotta do. And you know what I'm saying? Even if it's just $20, hey, can I get $20 so I can get some gas or food or something? Shit, we still trying to ride Peter to pay Paul, and the rest of the disciples is in the back ready to jump us too. So what you mean? What you mean you asking us for some money? Shoot, I was about to ask you for some money. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, damn. When I got to college and I'm struggling, and I'm going through it, my mentor like, you need, nah, I'm good. Hey, I'm straight. I don't know how to ask because I don't want to be looked at as a certain way. In reality, now I need all the help I can get.
And it comes 50-50 too, and I might be projecting. But we don't trust people because people take advantage of that too.
Facts.
Because children's services, they talk very nice. They'll come to your home. Hey, your lights been off. You ain't been to school in 27 days in a row. You can tell us.
And your ass are being fucking foster care quick as you can say something.
So that reminds me of people. Come on, we're a safe space. Why are people in depression? Why are people in anxiety? Why do people need money? Why do you know we can talk to us and it's just like
they ain't got your back. And so I look at that twofold.
That emotion of like trusting people, because people are something else, man.
Because I get what and I'm not gonna say I get, because I understand what they're trying to go. You ain't got hot water, you ain't got electric. Well, we gonna take you up out of here. But I don't want to go with these folks over here. Shit, just because they can provide some hot water and whatever, these motherfuckers is assholes. Like,
and the biggest thing I want to say is like they create the safe space for you to tell, because for the benefit of you, but they're going to tell somebody. So it's like that mentality stuck with me in college. Like, yeah, I know you want to be there for me, but I know you may ridicule me and other.
Exactly. Who else is you gonna tell this story to and be like?
And I know it from street sense. It's just so sad because it's like we talk about men opening up, but there's no safe space for men to open up. Either they're weak or they're lying about their situation, or it's just meant to have that strength. That's why I asked, like, was it pride? Was it ego? Because for me, it was like, when I've been doing that my whole life, it's just like, nah, this, I don't know. It's like an embarrassment. Like I let myself down, because when you're so used to doing it, it's just like, and so that's why I'm like, even with how we met, it was just like, nah, this is a safe space because I've been through that. Like, it ain't like, oh, you hear this, you hear that. And I think that's why it's so hard for us men to be like, hey man, I'm in college, I need that extra 20. Somebody gonna be like, try to run you down or try to play you on some shit. And it's just like,
I'm gonna tell the viewers this story because we can laugh about it now. Jason had this old Buick. I don't know if it was a 1996. Was it 1996?
Nigga, y'all about to laugh, bro.
Was it a 96?
88, 89.
It was an 88, 89 Buick. First off, this Buick was this Buick was old. But when I tell you, at the time, I was working at this spot called Henry Bridal. Like, it was like a bridal shop, prom dress shop. Clown me if you want. First off, nothing but women clients. But one of my favorite jobs, because I knew I get to learn about women. I was around women all the time.
You ain't got to explain it to
You know
them.
what I'm saying? Like, it was cool. Like, that was, you can say whatever you want, but shit, that was a smooth gig right there. Good money too.
Yeah.
We shared this car going everywhere, to the club, to work. And mind you, we always had to jump it, pump a tire, do something.
The car up with the screwdriver just to get the
something was always going wrong with this car. But when I tell you we was in Columbus whipping this 88, 89 Buick, we was whipping it and getting to it. But that right there was one of the first times where I really understood what paying it forward, helping somebody when you in the space. I ain't had no car right at that time.
Mm-hmm.
All I was doing was giving a little money, put some gas in the car so we can get, you know what I'm saying? And mind you, I ain't even stay with Jay. We stayed in two separate cribs. Sometimes I'm staying the night on the couch because I know I got to go to work in the morning or vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
You got to do the early shift up
you
at the
feel
bar.
me? You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to pick somebody up, whatever the case may be. So it was one of those things where I learned, like, dang. And that was one of the first times where I understood that, one, I felt comfortable and confident because, one, I knew this person grew up how I grew up, related to me, understood where I came from. So when I was like, bro, this is my story, this is what I'm going through, he ain't dog. You know, we clown, we talk shit, you know, we always gonna talk shit. But when it was time to have that real life conversation, it was like, bro, I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
Yep.
What can I, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you don't see a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Or you tell some, nowadays, sometimes you tell, it's so crazy. Sometimes you tell somebody a story, the first thing they gonna tell the homeboys and that so they can clown you, or they putting you on the gram somewhere so they can have other people clown you and ridicule you. And it's like, I'm just trying to get ahead. I'm just trying to be better.
I didn't even know that type of stuff existed. But when I came to college, I started realizing what the real world was. Like, growing up, it was like, hey, you ain't got it, I got you, dog. But then you got to college, was like, people, either they help you, they're gonna talk about how they helped you, or you start realizing that there was never this openness for people to be able to just be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Or be genuine about it. You couldn't be genuine. You always had to, or lack of a better term, sleep with one eye open. Because it's like, do I really trust the fact that you're gonna look out? Or is it one of those things where it's just like, damn, like you ain't really trying to help nobody. You just talking your shit, or you gonna make it seem or sound good.
Yeah. I didn't even notice stuff until I started getting friends. They just like nudge me like, hey bro, like maybe this happened, that happened. Multiple people talking about this or that situation. So you start to be able to build those cultural competency. You start to realize like, okay, let me have a little bit of self-awareness in the situation, who I ask for help, who I date, you start just figuring out things like that. And I think just in the world, it's like, who does Will Smith have to go to? Who is his, even all this stuff we talking about, just men's mental health at this moment where it's like, hey man, we were in college, we were trying to, make it happen. We share things with one another. But for me to go to somebody and try to make you seem bad, like that's in vain. Like, why would I ever even do the good deed or act if I had to go off and tell somebody like, look, this is what I do. It's like, nah, I got this white Buick, and if I'm not driving it, and how you carry yourself from Band of Brothers, hey, if you really need to go to work, nigga, you cool. Like, I know where you live at, you know where I live at. Like, it's not that type of thing, but I learned that at OSU, but I'm glad I learned it in a way just like what we met on, because it was like somebody did that for me. Like, somebody, it might not have been the car, but somebody did it where it might have been money, might have been helping me lift something. But I do think like just in society for men, we always, we got this rah, but we really seldomly have a safe space to go to just to cry. Like, it seemed weird. Like, I don't even cry, but mentally just to look at like, damn it, I'm in college. I don't got no food. And I got to go to work, and I got to go to class, and I'm dating somebody's rich ass daughter, and I'm trying to make shit happen, and it's like, or I'm just trying to be a black young man that's just going through the college process. I'm trying to make these friends and keep up with them and stuff like that. Like, my mom drives a bus in Cleveland for a suburban school, and I'm going to school I'm going to school with the kids that she done drove at her school, and then it's like, I'm gonna open up to these motherfuckers and be like,
hell nah.
Hey dog,
hell nah.
We ain't had no food in this house. And they be like, oh man, Brody could have just came and just talked, man. It's like, nah,
I'm good, cause your intentions don't seem pure to me, and it's like,
internalize this for the one time, my guy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's just like, I try to realize it now. The older I get, is trying to find safe spaces and trying to be able to talk and have those conversations. Everybody is not meant to be able to hear your traumas and deal with your shit. And sometimes you got to deal with those things by yourself. There's certain things you have to do the work by yourself. But you should always have, I heard somebody say this, and I can't think of what his name is. But he said, you shouldn't have a circle. You should have a you. Because every time I look out, I should point to you and say, is you doing what you're supposed to do to make sure we all good? Everybody has a role to play in this.
Integral parts.
When we close a circle, everybody just looking at each other. Hey. Just going in.
I noticed this in New York City, bro. And I don't want to be so operate from trigger and be like, that's why I don't fuck with cliques or things. Like, but coming out the inner city, why I never fuck with cliques, because it never got me nowhere from my hood. I watched how detrimental it was. It was just a circle, but it's just a competition. When I got to New York, it was just like, oh, do you want to be a part of our team? People trying to make cliques, and then they trying to make seem people don't collaborate. But it's like, no, y'all trying to create cliques and ultra teams. And I think that
over here trying to create the Showtime Lakers out there.
And it's okay to do that, but I'm building my team based off of my emotions. Like, it used to be, okay, I'm building my circle off of modeling, and where I'm going is like, no, I need peace. My love language is words of affirmation. I never even known that shit my whole life. I'm like, my love language is words of affirmation. So I can work my ass off to get us to the goal, but I might need homie just encouraging me every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? And I think I like what you said. Hey man, how your mental health? Because people used to ask me, and I used to say I'm good. I didn't even know how to open up. Just because it's like, hey, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do think that just having platforms like this, like talking and stuff like that, it just helps the next black man. Because in the modeling industry, there are circles, there are cliques of people, and they know why they're there with each other. And I'm starting to like, and I don't want to bring in race and stuff, but like the higher you go up in modeling, the good attribute I can take, a lot of these people are creating circles based off of the emotional availability. Like, because they all doing their thing. They all can't call each other every day and blah, 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 this and that. But they know like, hey man, if Chelly need that word of encouragement, I know he working on, I'ma help him. Like as black people, it's like, we should be for each other emotionally as well as like what we're doing in life. Like it shouldn't be a white man, like there should never be a white man to come tell Chelly, hey man, your podcast is great, and none of your niggas told you that, and none of your niggas motivated you, or none of your niggas reposted. And then you get to a part where it's just like, your shit popping and niggas come out of nowhere. And it's just like, you're gonna be hurt by that. And what I'm recognizing, like the circles, they help support each other emotionally as well. It's like, hey man, I was just thinking of this post of you, or just spreading light. Like, and the higher I move up, I'm like, oh man, this is how they creating these conglomerates. Because they're just like, oh, I can work hard to come to your conglomerate. But it's like that Eric Thomas is like, no, he's in my conglomerate because he has a daughter that he takes care of. Like, I don't care about what your accolades are to get in my circle. It's all based on like what you do for my soul. You know what I'm saying? Because holistically, that's going to make you shine. Like, I was in deep depression, but the modeling, it started to open me up, to heal me. And once I start becoming more like healing, the people I start to meet, the people that I reconnected with, the people that I start to recognize who were for me, it just turned out to be like, and I think that like, as black men, man, I just wish it was more open spaces for us to talk, because we got the barbershop, but it's just surface level. It's not like how you're doing with the podcast, like, and how you feel, and not be judged for it. Like sometimes we get judged for just how we think. It's like there's a place for correction, but there's also a place for like just being able to speak freely. It should be a forum like, hey, we just chopping it up, like, and then we can break into that. And you know,
my thing is, I understood that these were conversations we already were having.
Yeah.
So being able, and now, like I said, I'm 31 now. I'm gonna be all the way real with you. At this point, there's a level of us that care what people think. So let me not
I care what people think. I'm trying
let me not act like I don't.
Yeah.
But I'm at the stage now where I care, but I really don't give a fuck. Cause it's like, yeah, there's a part of me that cares, but I just don't give a fuck no more. Cause here's the thing. Most of the people that's talking or got something to say ain't doing shit you doing no way. Fact, you know what I'm saying? And if you hating or you got something to say, you could either help grow, help build, help mold. It's just like what I say when we talk about protecting each other, whether you're a black man or a black woman. Instead of hating on that next person, how about you help build them up? Hey, you know, you may not agree with them, educate them. And if they're not willing to listen, hey, you know what? Peace, love, and blessings. I tried to help you the best way I could. I ain't gonna put you down, but I'm gonna pray for you and I'm gonna make sure you're good. But I ain't gonna deal with you in that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? This not the opportunity. This ain't for me. And I'm gonna leave you be where you be. I ain't gonna dog you. I'm just gonna let you be with it. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. That's easier said than done, because we are quick to somebody come out the mouth crazy. You be like,
I feel the chords already listening to it. I grew, but I definitely hear what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's easier said than done, because I'll be honest with you. We'd be quick to be like, nigga, hold on, nah, you talking crazy. Hold on. I'm going to get you together real quick. You know what I'm saying? You must have got the wrong one. But at the same time, it's learning and growing. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm perfect, because I'm not. But as I'm learning and growing, it's like, sometimes it's just not, like you said, sometimes it's just best to walk away. Everybody ain't meant to get what you're trying to put out there. And that's what I'm learning. This ain't for everybody. This ain't everybody lane. And everybody not going to be able to be on the home stretch cheering and clapping it up. Cool. Got it. Great. You might have a whole lot to say and there might be a whole lot of negative. Cool. You watched, you paid attention. Cool. I appreciate you. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. It might hurt. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt because you know why? Because at the end of the day, what are you doing to help grow bold to do anything like that? You ain't doing shit. All you doing is just talking, and that's what a lot of people. That's why I look at social media like as a.
What do you think about that too? Like you're going into that. I feel like you segue into the social media.
Like I think it's social media is to be at this point is to make you some money, and I think that's what most people are using it for. But most people are taking social media and being somebody who they are not. And here's the thing: it's a lot of people that I see. It's a lot of people that I see, know, and do a lot of shit. Where it's like, bro, that's not you. That ain't never been you on any gay day, any of that. But you know what? I'm gonna let you live because it's not my business to tell the world who you can be. That's not my business.
Not to cut you off with the beauty and like growing in poverty in college, I was trying to fit in with people in the mold, but it actually created a veil. Like God, like that Harry Potter cloak. When you come to New York, it's like, I know I'm broke. All I can do is model and grind. Like, so half of the niggas don't even want to fuck with you because number one, you ain't got no money in New York. Number two, you're not doing nothing. So God keeping you under that veil. That's why niggas start coming out the blue when the modeling came. Because it's like, they really don't know what success is. All they know is what it looks like to emulate it. So the blueprint, they don't know. That's why they watch you sometimes like, is it working for them? It's like, because it's that mentality. And I started seeing for social media what I was doing. Like, I operated out of a lot of hurt on social media. A lot of it was like, no, I need to be seen. It's a difference in modeling, like, okay, I'm doing this in modeling and it's no way but to be seen. But learning this sacred pause is making me become clear who I am. And I think that veil of being like just broke because you just had a default of your head down, like, and I would always announce, trying to convince people, you just gotta know what you know. Like it was always this thing where it's just like, man, I gotta find my own resolve. I gotta find who Jason is. And I think, of course, with the music came into play, but the modeling started to expose me who people are. I had a girl who came to me just recently crying, tears in her eyes, because she wanted me to collaborate. And I knew in my heart that her crying had nothing to do with me. It was all of what I can do for her. And you start seeing that just constantly with people. But as you start getting your clarity, you start seeing on social media, it's just this convincing people. It's like that doubting Thomas with Jesus. It's like, show me your hands, Jesus. And it's like, and Jesus is like, here you go. But Jesus is like, no, Peter, John, take care of my mother. I have to go on. I send the Holy Ghost as a comforter. It's like, I'm not about to prove or convince to you no more. It just is what it is. It's just right. Like, it's just the lion. It's like, I'm not roaring all the time. Not because I think I'm the shit or not. It's just finding just acting out of character and just knowing what's for attention, knowing what is in attention. Like, and I'm finding like my intention is just like, I want to advocate for Black little boys who went through trauma, fucking domestic violence, and be there for them because it's a cool world out here. And you really just start realizing with the social media, it's like, man, this shit is ultimate bullying, bro. Like, and the bullying I ain't grow up to, like, bullying, I don't fucking jump that nigga. These bullies would be like, dog you out, and then you do an accolade, like, yeah, you took that ass whooping good, like, get up, hey, homie, like, what the fuck? Like, that's what you see in this world.
It's different.
Cancel me, come back and be like, yeah, you took that ass whooping good. Like, nah, nigga, you don't mess with me, then you don't mess with me. But you start seeing yourself trying to convince for people. You start, social media for me, if you don't know what your insecurities are, you about to figure it out. Like, I might not scroll or check people's pages, but it's like, ooh, let me post this. Like, ooh, these niggas, like, yeah, these niggas should have known, motherfucker, like, I was that nigga. And then I started really getting to a point in my agency. It was a development meeting, and it was just about intention, like showing who you are. And once I got to that point, I was like, you know what? My life started flowing better.
I'm gonna say it like this, just like what the homie told me. What is the real reason of why are you doing this? Mm-hmm. Are you doing this for them, or are you doing this for you? If you're doing it for them, it ain't gonna last long, because you always got to continue to be that puppet, and you got to always continue to deliver what they want. If you're doing it for you, you're going to be able to do it on your time, on your dime, how you want it, when you want it, and you control everything. And that's the thing that I look at it right now. Like you said, it has me being in this space has exposed me in a lot of ways because it showed me that I needed to grow in areas that I was not confident in. There were certain things that I wasn't confident in myself in. There were certain things that I needed to see and look at differently. There's a lot of things that I need to grow up. A lot of things I need to finally say, you know what, I need to grow up here to be better here. And that's just comes with being a man and understanding different
things. What's the biggest
things.
thing you feel like you learned doing, like, what's the biggest thing you learned this decade or during this pandemic you feel? Like, what's the number one thing?
It ain't gonna never come easy. And if you want it, you gotta invest in yourself to do it. Yeah. It's a whole lot, like, I'm gonna be honest, still with the social media. It's a whole lot of people that talk. It's a whole lot of people selling bullshit. No, like I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, bro. It's a lot, man. Social media ain't nothing but a whole bunch of lot of niggas is out here jugging, scamming, and finessing. That's all social media is, real talk. If you ain't, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't paying attention, some folks out here, you got money, but you over here letting somebody else pay your bill. Like, it's a whole lot of folks that's out here that you think got it that ain't got it. So why am I trying to impress somebody? Why would I want to try to impress you when you really ain't got it yourself? I know I ain't got it, so I'm gonna go ahead and work for it.
Yeah.
So, you know, for me, it's like, I'm not about to sit up here and try to finesse and try to, you know, I done been in that space, did it, done that, whatever. Okay, that's what it was. But now I'm at this space in my life now where it's like, okay, what is it that you want to accomplish? Mm-hmm. What is the end goal for you? I want to make sure my daughter got something to hold on to. I want to make sure my family is straight. I need to break these generational curses. Mm-hmm. So I don't care about what you got going on over there if it's not going to bring me anything as prosperity or helping me evolve as a man or as a person or help build my community. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So if you out here trying to flex for the next, it's just like I laugh when people be so quick to, oh, we gonna cancel Gucci and do all this and then y'all still wait. In the pandemic, I still saw the same motherfuckers in the line buying the same shit.
But the canceling is like, so you have power. This is back to the basketball reference. It's like, you're holding my jersey. We're going to cancel him. It's like, no, that's not the power. Like, the holding the jersey is your lack of power. Like, canceling him is your lack of power. Like, okay.
Move your feet, son. Move your feet.
You know what niggas is like, oh, Jason's canceled. I'm going to collect these invoices. Like, you just sent me back to the real world. Thank you. Because mentally, what you realize with social media, it's kind of like that Harry Potter movie. You look in that mirror and it shows you whatever, I don't know, your deepest fears or whatever you want. I wanted a place of belonging. It didn't matter with whom, who, or what. And it was just getting to a point where I see even in the modeling industry, it's like, I was going down that Ohio State path and I got out of it. And then other people who in the industry that got 40,000 followers and stuff, like, how do you keep booking? You only got 1,800 followers or this and that. And you start mentally seeing it's like, y'all playing a whole different game. And then once you start seeing these creative directors and these gatekeepers don't like that, they really don't. They're like, oh, it's not right for the brand. You know, that's not right for the mood board. And it's that type of thing because it's, bro. And one of the most things, like, I came into college, like, people are condescending towards one another. And I come in the industry and it was just wild to see how people act towards their own people. And I never start seeing this until like in the hood, yeah, niggas will shoot each other. But in college, you start getting the modeling, like, these niggas will snake your ass. And they'll backdoor you, like, on some fucking, like, better than any nigga that, like, the real backdoor. Like, so it's just like, you really start seeing, just like, nah, you ain't even me, man. You ain't even black, bro. You just some Jim Crow, like, you some prototype. Like, this Get Out movie. Like, yeah, you claiming the same skin I am, but when you meet niggas like I am where I'm from, you judge them. You don't, like, so God just starts saying, like, man, let me be your veil, bro, because your validation is in me. They cancel culture, they can't do shit for you. This is like living in a project, like, yeah, they living down there. Oh, that girl still got them kids. They never came down to get us out. That's how cancel culture is. Like, you don't have a heaven or hell to put us in. You can't say.
You just want to talk. You just want to talk because it sounds good.
Because you don't have no power. And the only way you can exhibit that is through cancel culture. Your life's not popping off. You probably not got this shit on. It's like, what? Oh, Gucci, this and that. It's like, yes, Gucci did wrong. But you do wrong. But is someone canceling you? No, you just hide it well. This person has a magnifying glass with them. Oh, we're going to cancelize them. But what happened when you talk to your mother wrong or you raise your voice or do something? You're not canceling yourself as a bad person. So it's just social media. It's just like when you sit on the toilet and you shit and you got to think to yourself if your phone ain't in your hand. It's just like,
everybody got skeletons. Everybody got skeletons in their closet. And if we actually took the time to actually pull and open some folks' closets, trust me, the energy that they give in other folks. That's why I say people all the time.
They don't put flaws because cancel culture is Jesus Christ himself. Like these niggas really think they flawless.
You can't put. That's why I tell people don't put celebrities and rappers and all these on pedestals. They bleed like we bleed. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing different with them but they tax bracket. Yep. Outside of that, ain't nothing different but they tax bracket. So why am I over here? Look, great. It would be nice to meet some individuals, cool, shake hands, network, build, try to understand and get some pointers. But at the end of the day,
I just thought of a funny story.
You know what I'm saying? What am I gonna do different? Like,
bro, I came in the modeling industry, right? I'm in Ohio. I'm cutting out Prada magazine photos. I got shit of different models and this is who I want to be like. I want to be with these niggas, you know. And it is a mood board, right? Two of the models I was idolizing. It's like, hey man, you mind if I crash on the couch? Or you got another agent like, hey man, I crashed a couple of days. I'm like, I ain't clown niggas since they on the hustle. But yeah, my place dusty at the time. It was fucked up. I stayed there for 3 to 4 years, but it was my place. Don't ask me how I paid $800 a month in New Jersey, but
God won't he do it?
But won't God do it? And it's
amen.
I grew up. It's the same way we grew up. So it's that veil over your. It's you coming to New York. It's like, why would I try to fit into that? Because now I'm learning my worth. Man, one of the models I wanted to be like, I was just like, my lady was like, you're trying to be around you don't even see it. Like the mentality of like, let me try to fit in with these people or just let me be me. And I came to New York, I'm like, man, it's people, man, it ain't what it is, man. And once you really get around the right people and you find that wholeness in yourself, it's like I don't want to be in clique with none of these niggas, bro. I'm at a point where it's like, modeling is just my job. It is not who I am. And so some people want to collab with you or think they got in common because you model. It's like, nah, bro, I'm just a chill guy. And that's the people I want to be around. But I looked at the modeling industry and was like, this model telling me like, man, you can be this, you can be that. And one day like, hey man, you mind if I crash 2 or 3 nights? Hey, you mind if I touch your couch to the couch? And I'm thinking in my head like, you supposed to be an agent? Like, how you gonna be my agent? Because I've always been independent for 5 years. So this is like the first year of actually being signed. So all my modeling prior to that was just God fortunate to have a non-exclusive contract with a booker and put me on to the scene with that. But then you just start seeing like people coming out, how did you get that? How did you do that? And the agents like, they're searching just for people who are cool. Like ever start just realizing who become celebrities and how stuff pop off. It's never these niggas that's operating the way they operate on the ground. It's like, because it's not sustainable. And people who are gatekeepers and creative directors, they see that shit. And it's like people like you, what you doing, people like I'm doing, like, don't matter about that inorganic reach. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to become organic. And it's going to be like, boom, boom, boom. Dog, my like, before I modeled, I probably had 400 followers. And I don't mean shit, but that was just the people that followed me from the school. But over time, people just follow. And it's like, once God gives you that veil, like that validation, once they start coming, it's just like, nah. And looking in New York at that, like you just start seeing people. It's just fake out here. It's all about what you do out here. It's like in organizational communication is hierarchies. It's like you're not respecting me just because, hi, I'm Jason. Hi, I'm Chells. It's like, what do you do? Where are you from? What's your job title? Because they're putting you in these type of brackets. And so it's just like, if you don't say what you do,
people just gonna treat you just how you should be treated. And you start seeing where it's like, oh, I'm a model. And niggas just get that, woo, it's just something they see. Like, I know you've been chasing, but damn. And it's just like, no, it's me. It's still the same me. But it's like, oh, and you're doing the right thing. And anybody who's on this gram is just like, just get the work done. 33% is just IG. The rest is, the real work is outside of that. Like,
and that's what I'm learning now, bro. Like, I want to build with integrity. Yeah. And I want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. Yeah. And if you ain't got any of those qualities to be able to move with integrity and move with a sense of purpose and to be able to say, hey, I want to be better for not only myself, but my family and those around me. Yeah. We ain't got nothing to discuss. Because honestly,
we ain't nothing in common, my nigga.
Because I mean, trying to keep up with the Joneses, I've been there, did that already. And I'm still was broke. So what you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there, did that. So what I ain't got shit to show for it. But a couple pictures, couple good times, couple memories.
I got one story, right? So I'm in New York, right? Like, meeting up, like, oh, this is time to meet up with people, blah, blah, blah. Like, people out in school with, like, they gotta telling my late, you know how I talk. Mm-hmm. We spent about $40 on the bottle between Uber, all that stuff, get there, and people not even speaking to me. And Verity was like, what the fuck? Like, you're modeling, you're doing this, like, you're self-sabotaging yourself, like, you're still trying to fit in with these people. She was like, and I had to go home and just be like a real jackass. And I look at it in modeling, like, let me get around the black models that are popular. Them niggas built their way up there. They don't want you around unless you doing something that they doing. But it's like, I don't operate that way. They're not bad for the way they operate, but I don't operate that way. Mm-hmm. Man, these niggas are broke out here, bro. Like, and not even that way mentally, like, because we all struggling and trying to get up. Like, I'm taking it day by day. But the niggas that you're following, I mean, the people that we follow or try to fit in with, it ain't sustainable.
Everything is not always what it seems, and that's just real life.
Nigga behind the curtain, man.
and that's the thing. Like, and before I close it up, I'm gonna say this.
Oh yes.
You know, everything is not always what it seems, and it's a lot of people that's out here trying to be somebody that they're not, whether they think it's sustainable or not. Clout is a dangerous drug. We see that over the past couple of years, where people will do any and everything to get to a point. People will mock culture, mock society, mock different people, races, whatever it comes down to put themselves in a position to be seen, heard, and want to be noticed. It don't even have to be necessarily for a good reason. And that right there is what I look at as just like, you know what? I'm gonna let you be what you be. I ain't gonna dog you. I ain't gonna talk shit about you. You might get these jokes off every now and again, but I gotta be careful. Folks out here slapping motherfuckers nowadays. So I gotta get my one off. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. So, like, I'm gonna let you be what it be. But at the end of the day, I'm here to do what I can do what's best for me and my friends and family, and succeed in that way and that right. And if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, I put my 100% on and I did it the right way. And I ain't try to go outside I ain't try to be somebody that I wasn't. Because at the end of the day, I believe that the people that's doing everything, you have to pay for that in some way, shape, or form. You're gonna have to answer to that. And you're going to have to in some way, shape, or form. It may not be in the form that what you think it is. It may not be monetarily. It may not be in friends. You're going to have to answer for that in some way, shape, or form, because people will look at that and say, well, but this is what you did, and this is who you were, and this is who you presented. And now you don't act, it don't equate. Somebody will hold you accountable. It may not be right now because it's a lot of yes men or yes women or whoever. It might not be then, but you will be held accountable for certain actions and things that you do. And that's just what that is. First off, we want to thank you for coming on. We got to definitely do this again. Definitely got to have you back on here again. But as I do for all my guests that come on, I want you to talk to the people, let them know how they can get in contact with you, if they can follow you, if you got anything coming up, and then we're going to get up out of here.
Oh, let's make it happen. One Jason Pettigrew on my major IG, just pretty much my modeling. But follow my music too. It's just one Drew Pet. I'm coming out with a project alive, and it's the same as my therapy, but we're doing better and just taking it one day at a time. It's all about healing, the vibes we trust, spreading that confidence, letting you know you are perfect and okay at the way you are. There's no status quo, not even I. I'm just here to encourage.
Hashtagging vibes we trust, and definitely gonna be checking that out. And if you haven't heard the first one, therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, like,
I was in the bedroom then, but now I'm in the studio. Now
he did his thing on that one, and now that I'm excited for this new project that's coming up as well. And that's for me, King Chells. As always, you know, y'all can follow me on my IG at Kingship Podcast. That's Kingship Podcast. You can follow me on TikTok as well. I finally got a TikTok. My students, blame them. They they kind of got me. Y'all won't catch me doing any of the dances, but I be trying to have a little conversation on there. So don't be shy. Reach out to me. It's at King Chells. And I have a Twitter as well. You can reach out to me on there at Kingship Podcast as well. I appreciate y'all as always for listening, tuning in. Like I said, we got a new intro and a new outro. You know what I'm saying? We come from the hood. We moving on up. We moving on up. You feel me? So check
one
that
day at
out.
a time, man. One day at a time.
You know, and just make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and as always, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, let us know something. If you want to come on the podcast, you're more than welcome to as well. As always, peace, love, and blessings. I'll holla at y'all. Be easy.
Peace.
Hey.